And now we're in Isaiah. In Isaiah 58, remember, the context said that they are about to be free. They have been in slavery for many, many years, and now the Lord is going to free, and He's giving them instructions. And when they go back, and the city gets rebuilt, and the temple, and so on and so on, and one of the instructions that He's giving them is about the Sabbath. Notice that while God is planning their future, the Sabbath is included in their future. And I wonder, why is it that if God gave it to them in Genesis, right, to humanity, He gave it back to them in Exodus and so on, through the whole existence of the Israelites, they had the Sabbath. I wonder, why is it that God had to remind them of it? And the Bible goes on to explain prior, and the other chapters, and also around this chapter 58, that one of the reasons is that they had neglected the practice. Now, they didn't neglect the congregating on Sabbath. They were congregating every week, and they were even offering a sacrifice. There was a sacrifice required every time you go to the temple, and every time you congregate, there was a offering, sacrifice required. They were meeting, and they were offering the right sacrifice. But as soon as the meeting ended, they were going right back to business. They were carrying out the day as if it was a regular day of the week. And that is what God was angry about it. Not upset, but angry about it. And then He has to remind them, by the way, you got to keep the Sabbath. And notice the verse 13. If you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day. One of the things that it amazes me about this verse is how God is claiming ownership. And I wonder, and I invite you to think about it. How come God doesn't claim ownership of Sunday through Friday? And how come He only claims ownership of Saturday? It is an intimate occurrence. For God, the Sabbath is personal. It's about fellowship. Every time we observe it, we are experiencing fellowship. No fellowship just with one another. We are experiencing fellowship with the Creator of the universe. And that is what bothers God. He's saying, I want to have fellowship with you, and the day that I separated so that we can have fellowship, I gave you all the other 6 days. You can do whatever you want in those 6 days. And He's there. He said, you can work, you can do whatever you want during the 6 days with the principles. But this day, I don't want you to do anything but have fellowship with me. And personally, it is so hard. For me, I find it so hard to detach myself, literally detach myself of stuff and give it to someone else. Not maybe money, not maybe food, but something so personal as time. It is hard for me. I find it hard to detach myself from time and give it to someone else. Because we tend to believe that what I'm doing with my time is more important than what you want from me. Some people say, God, you ruined my life by asking me for that day. God, you ruined my business because I can't conduct business. I can make the double or triple time that I can make on a Sabbath. God, you're really hurting me because you're asking me, you're hurting me. Because I know what to do with the Sabbath. I know what to do with my time. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I could do better. And then we go on making our own plans. We go about making our stuff. And if you noticed it, the relationship between son or daughter, between parents and children, is almost the same. Have you noticed that there is an issue? Every time you give an advice to your children, right? Kids, this is the way to do it, right? What do? If they can, the opposite. Mom and dad are too old. They are from an old generation. And imagine God. God is so old. And we tend to, because we don't see him, we tend to isolate it. He's, God, you're out there. You don't know what's going on here. I know what's going on here. Therefore, I can make better plans than you because I experienced. And why do you think then that Jesus had to humanize himself? Because he wanted us to be able to use that excuse anymore. You can't say, God, you're not human. You don't know what I'm going through. I need the Sabbath. I really, really do. I need my time. Life is short. Life is precious, God. I need to enjoy it. It doesn't work like that, everybody. And one of the things that God goes on to say is, if you abstain yourself from doing whatever you want on this day, because it's about fellowship. If we cannot fellowship with God on one day, what makes us think that we can fellowship with him for eternity? That's the principle he's going by. If you cannot spend a couple of hours with me on our beautiful place, what makes you think that you will be able to spend eternity with me? You won't be able to handle it. See the relation now? God is trying to give us a little taste of what eternity will be like. And for some people, that is boring. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be sitting down talking to God all the time. You're going to be watching me. You're going to be looking after me. One of the things that I love about my ministry is that my supervisor is out there in his office all the time, and I'm in the field. I'm in the churches. I'm in my house. I don't have to see him. I see them once a month, maybe once every quarter. I don't have to talk to them daily. I don't have to report to them. I don't sit in the office next to them. They don't watch me. They don't tell me what to do. You have that as a privilege. We don't live with God personally, but God is in us through the Holy Spirit. If we cannot handle the fellowship with God for a couple of hours during the Sabbath day, we will never be able to handle eternity with God. Isn't it that something? So the reason why God gave us, first of all, on a weekly basis, our body needs to rest. I don't know about you, and I was talking to Tom the other day. Tom, why is it that you're retired? Well, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm very stressed. And one of the things Tom shared with me is after, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, he's done with the day. Now he has that privilege to retire. But you can't have that privilege. After a couple of hours, I'm tired. Tom, I don't know if that's an old people stuff, but I'm getting there too. After a certain time of the day, I'm done with the day. I'm tired. And then my wife wanted me to start walking, every day, all the time. Like Yvette gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the little dog goes with her, and she goes walking all over town, and she has a trail that she does. She comes back, and then she says, okay, let's go walking at noon. Let's go walking in the evening. And I say, what's up with that? Calm down. You got so much energy. Just relax, would you? What's up with that? She's full of energy. I can't handle that, especially in the morning. She gets up in the morning, and oh my gosh, and I'm waking up and trying to have breakfast, and then she has all these plans in her mind, and she comes to me, what do you think about this? What do you think about vacation? What do you think about moving here? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I'm like, have mercy on me. Would you let me have breakfast first, please? Too much energy. Sometimes we can't handle God, not because we don't want to, maybe because we haven't tried. If we cannot handle God for a couple of hours here on earth, how are we going to handle God in eternity, which is forever? It's impossible. It doesn't make any sense, right? Why do you think that children tend to move along away from their parents? Have you noticed that? Some, the majority at least, they tend to move away. Why do you think I joined the ministry? Because I get transferred every so many years, and my parents cannot handle that, cannot afford that. Why is it that we try to run away from God so quickly, which he's the only one protecting us, looking after us, creating us, blessing us, maintaining us. He redeemed us. And he's the only one that promised eternity, and he's the only one that can actually fulfill it. I mean, all those promises in the Bible, have you noticed how much new medicine is coming out every day? Vitamins and all that, and there's a new one. I was invited by someone to try one for hair because they thought I needed hair. I said, I don't need hair. I got so much hair, I can give you some if you want to. So many promises that they make you, right, in those bottles. Right? You get hair guarantee in a month, in 3 months, in 7 months. And all you get is dandruff. That's all you get out of those products, in my opinion. A bunch of dandruff, and then you got to get another shampoo so you can get rid of the dandruff, and so on, and then all of a sudden you're bankrupt. They make so many promises, and very few can deliver. You take a medication, and it has like 10 side effects, and one of those side effects could be suicidal, for goodness sake. You try to save your life, and then you got to take a med that can actually provoke to kill you. No one can deliver. Only God can deliver. We got to get that to our heads. Every week, God is trying to get it to our heads. The only one that can deliver eternity and redemption is God. He has to remind us because we're humans. We tend to forget. We tend to choose the world better than anything else. Think about it. You get out of here, there's so much advertisement out there. It's crazy. There's so much advertisement. It's crazy how much money they spend on advertisement. So you and I can spend the little money we get to impress people we don't even know, with money we don't even have, to buy products we don't even like. It just doesn't make sense. The only one that can deliver is God. So week after week, God brings us together and says, let's fellowship. I am your God and your creator. And we need a hope. We need a bigger hope. When you look around the world, the only thing that this world can deliver is in destruction, self-destruction. You notice around the world what's going on? Self-destruction. People get a little bit of power, a little bit of taste, and they want to finish the work. We can't handle that. We need hope. We need to understand. We need to believe in someone above us. One of the things that I loved about the Jewish culture is the Hanukkah, the yarmulke? What is it, the stuff they put on top of the head? What is it called? The yarmulke. And you know why they have it on top of their head? According to one person that I was talking to about in the last couple of weeks, they put it on top of their heads to remember every single second of their lives that there is someone above them, and that is God. I wish we could come up with something like that. I wish we could come out with something that reminds us. Not nothing. I wish we could come out with something from our church, from Christianity, that can remind us on us every second of our lives there is someone above us. So the reason why God wants fellowship, and he gets upset, why? People reject the fellowship of the Sabbath. I don't need it. I don't want it. And people that knows about it, when you break it purposely, that hurts the most, doesn't it? When you get a gift and you're regifted, are you one of those people? Have you seen people regifting? You give someone a gift and you don't like it. What do? You put it away and you wait until there's an occasion to give somebody, and you regift something that you don't like. And the odd thing is that someone goes to visit that person and they say, you regifted. And they're like, wait a minute, I gave this to someone else. They will never give you anything again. They get upset. God feels rejected every time that you reject his precious gift. Because you know what's the precious gift that God has given us today? Time. He's sharing time, which is something that is hard for us to share with someone else. It is hard. It is so hard to get rid of, to give it away, because we're thinking time is precious, time is life. Well, God is giving every week. And by the way, this is interesting for me. The Lord God is in a sphere that is not affected by time. And even so, God is able to cross barriers and abide in a sphere that is affected by time without being affected, by the way. That's amazing to me, and that's why he's God. But he takes time out of his running the universe, by the way, he takes time to come down and be with us literally on a weekly basis. And what do? I don't think so. I had enough, God. You know what? Let me try it when I get older. Let me try it when I'm on a bed and I die in bed. Then I'll try to come to Jesus. Then I'll try to come to you. What a sad moment. And that's what you see in the Bible. The wise man saying, remember your Creator in your youth, so that when the time comes and pass, you don't regret neglecting God. I don't get me wrong. I love spending time with my son and my daughter. But my question, what really hurts me is when they reject my advice. I give them advice so they don't make the mistakes that I do, the mistakes that I made in life. Isn't that what we share with our kids? I share with them so they don't make the same mistakes that I made in life. And most of the times, it gets rejected. Why? Because they think they know best. And then they go out there and mess it up. And then when they mess it up, who do they call? Mom and Dad. I need some help. I need help. Well, go and call whoever gets you in that trouble. Don't call me. That's what I tell my kids. I love them to death, but I tell Jason and Melinda, if you ever end up in prison for something you do not call me. I will not come to get you out. I won't. You will deal with that on your own. That's love, believe it or not, right? That's love. So they know better. But when we reject the Lord, it hurts because He has feelings. And when we reject the gift that He's given us, see, religion is not, Christianity is not about rituals. Rituals. We're talking about Sabbath school. We're talking about everything that we do in church. God doesn't care about the rituals. He wants fellowship with us. Because fellowship grows friendship to the point where God then desires to have us up there, to the point where you want to spend time with God. If you don't want to spend time with God now, why would you want eternity? Be honest about it. You wouldn't. You will get sick of it. We get sick of stuff on the earth, don't we? That's why we change cars, we paint the houses, we try to remodel. I mean, we waste so much money on everything because we get sick of stuff. We don't know how to get along or stay together for a long, long, long time. It is hard to stay with a person for a long, long, long time, isn't it? It is hard to maintain a relationship for a long, long time. It takes an intentional effort on our part, not just that person, but on our part, to spend time and invest in that relationship so they can grow and maintain, doesn't it? You can't expect a relationship to be mandatory. It doesn't work like that. This is not therapy. This is not anger management. This is a relationship. And unless you have the intention and understanding and be purpose, have a purpose about it, be intentional about it, and do invest in the relationship, is not going to work. So when you think about the Sabbath, don't think about it as a load, as a burden. Enjoy it. God wants you to enjoy it. And He said, and He claimed, He said, that is my day. And He called it holy day, a real holiday, imposed by God, by the way. What do you do on a holiday? You take it off, right? You don't go to work, right? Hope so. Well, in God's holiday, He wants to spend time with us. And what's wrong with that, for crying out loud? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with God wanting to spend time with us? People spend time with the wrong person, they ended up in the wrong path. Isn't it that fact? If you spend time with the wrong crowd, chances are you will end up doing the wrong thing. But if you spend time with the right crowd, chances are you ended up doing the right thing. That's why mom and dad want to hold on to the children as much as they can. right? We want our kids to stay home as much as we can. I don't know about you, but that's in my culture. That's a thing. That's why Melly's in my house still, on her 30s. And that's why my son still can come back and claim that that's his home. He claims that. But that's my home. But I let him believe that because we try to hold down to them as much as possible so we can influence them for the good, right? I mean, every time I get excited, every time I hear Jason talking about, he was sharing with me this morning about a class that he's taking on E.G. White. He was taking a class on E.G. White this semester, and he was talking about all that stuff. And I said, okay. He shared with me, because when he starts talking, you can shut him up. It's like me. When I start preaching, you can't shut me up. That's I think Jason inherited that from me. He started talking. Oh, my gosh, he can go for 40 minutes. You could just put it on mute, sit down, go and have a meal, come back, and he's still talking. But that's all right. I listen to him. And it makes me so excited. And I didn't ask him to follow that step. I didn't ask him to be a minister. But I'm very excited that he felt the call. We keep our kids as much as possible so we can influence them for the good. That's what God's trying to do on the Sabbath. He's trying to keep us together with him so he can influence us for the best, for the greater good. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with God want to influence his creatures for the good? That's awesome. I think that's amazing. So let's enjoy the days that God's given us today. God bless.
Please stand. Holy Sabbath day of rest, by our Master raised, God created and divine, set aside time. Yes, the holy Sabbath rest, by our God divinely blessed, to us a shine shall be throughout all eternity. See folly, noise, and mirth. Over on the other shore, yes, the holy Sabbath rest, by our God divinely blessed, in us a sign shall be throughout all eternity. The Sabbath draweth on, Friday eve at set of sun, Christian household then should meet, sing and pray at Jesus' feet. Yes, the holy Sabbath rest, by our God divinely blessed, to us a shine shall be throughout all eternity, asking him for saving grace, also victory in the race, and to help us by his power to keep holy every hour. Yes, the holy Sabbath rest. By our God divinely blessed, it to us a shine shall be throughout all eternity.
It's really great to see a family doing this mission, right? This is an inspiration for us. So keep that up. Mighty God, I want to thank you for your blessings, for caring for us, Lord. Even when we don't ask for it, even when we don't deserve it, you are a loving God. Mighty God, give us the wisdom to understand your love and how far you're willing to do it. And let us enjoy today and every week, Lord. We ask and we take in Christ's name. Amen.
I'm so glad I'm a part of the family of God. I've been washed in the fountain, cleansed by